Hello students, we have completed with phylum Porifera and now let us move on to the second invertebrate phylum, that is phylum Cnidaria, also known as phylum Coelenterata. During the course of this lecture you will understand why it is called as phylum Cnidaria or phylum Coelenterata. What kind of organisms belong to this phylum? The jellyfish belong to phylum Cnidaria. Who else? The sea anemones belong to phylum Cnidaria. You know, corals, they belong to this phylum as well. And there are some other microscopic creatures, like you must have heard of Hydra very frequently. Hydra belongs to this phylum. Obelia also belongs to this phylum. The Cnidaria was the first phylum to begin with a tissue level organization. They started forming tissues. They are also diploblastic animals just like the poriferans, having only the ectoderm and the endoderm in their body. The mesoderm is not differentiated in them. These forms are radially symmetric. Jellyfishes, you know how they are radially symmetric. Even the Hydra, cylindrical, tentacles all around, that is radial symmetry. The characteristic feature of this phylum is their so-called stinging cells, also called as cnidoblasts, using which they sting their prey or predator, used for either offense or defense, capturing their prey, etc. The stinging cells that they have, also called as cnidoblasts, is because of which they have attained their name. This is the most peculiar feature of this phylum, presence of the cnidoblast. What is the peculiar feature of the poriferans? The water canal system. For these, it's the presence of the cnidoblasts. You know jellyfishes sting, don't you? Sea anemones, the tentacles of sea anemones sting. They are all aquatic, mainly marine. Some few freshwater forms are present like Hydra. The sponges were all sedentary, isn't it? Sessile. These forms can either be sessile or they can be free swimming as well. There can be sessile forms like sea anemones and Hydra, or there can be free swimming forms as well like jellyfishes. Habitat, all are aquatic, marine, most forms, and few forms are freshwater. Example, Hydra. Habit, they can be sessile or free swimming. Example, Adamsia, the sea anemone. Free swimming forms, example, Aurelia, jellyfish. Jellyfish is not a fish. I hope you know that. They can be solitary also. Example, Hydra. Solitary means living all alone, all by themselves. Or they can be colonial as well. Many individuals living in colony. Example, Obelia, also called as the sea fur. Symmetry, radial symmetry. Next, level of organization, tissue level. Diploblastic or triploblastic organization. Diploblastic organization. Only the ectoderm and the endoderm are differentiated, and there is an in-between layer, an undifferentiated mesoderm, which you do not call a mesoderm, you call it as mesoglia. What was it named in Porifera? It was named mesohylaea in Porifera, but over here it is called mesoglia. Ectoderm and endoderm differentiated, and in between mesoglia present. Mesoglia is said to be a jelly-like layer. It is said to be acellular. In Porifera it was cellular, it had amoebocytes and all, remember? This one does not have any cells in it, it's just a jelly-like matrix with elastin fibers. So it is said to be acellular. Next point, term Cnidaria is because of the presence of stinging cells, also called as cnidoblasts, also called as nematoblasts, also called as cnidocytes in tentacles and body wall. And we are going to look at them now. Next point, body wall. So let's take Hydra for instance. You can compare this with the sponges and see that it has a vase-like appearance with tentacles on top. And this cavity is very similar to the one that we saw in Porifera, isn't it? With an opening on top, but there are no pores all around like how they were in Porifera. Okay, there's just a single opening there, this opening, which will act as the mouth and anus as well. And there is a cavity inside which is called as the gastrovascular cavity, short formed as GVC. This cavity is also called as the coelentron, and thus you can understand why this phylum is also called as phylum Coelenterata along with phylum Cnidaria, because of the presence of this coelentron or the gastrovascular cavity. Is the coelentron any different from the spongocele? We will find out. Well, you know about the spongocele, isn't it? Was it a true cavity? Was it formed by the mesoderm? No, it was not a true cavity. It was not formed by the mesoderm. The mesoderm was not differentiated. It was still present in the body wall. Over here also the mesoderm is somewhere embedded over here. Okay, it is not even differentiated as a mesoderm. Only the ectoderm and the endoderm are differentiated. The endoderm is lining this coelentron. The coelentron right here is not a true cavity. Let's write it here, not a true cavity, since not formed by mesoderm. A swollen-like portion is present on top, which is called as the hypostome. It regulates the opening and closing of this mouth/anus. The hypostome will open and the water will enter inside the gastrovascular cavity, and this mouth will be closed then, and this water inside will bring along with it food. This water is trapped inside and it will create a pressure inside. A hydrostatic pressure will be created inside, which will act like its skeleton. This is called a hydrostatic skeleton. It will give a nice rigidity to its tentacles and its overall body to stay upright.
महादेव के नाम पे सब्सक्राइब कर दें।